guys, welcome back to the channel. Emma in Costa Rica. I hope you're all doing super well. Today we are actually in my kitchen. This has been a very long time. This is actually the first time we've made a video in this kitchen in particular. So today we are actually going to be making a dish that we have already made, but many years ago, and it was one of like my first videos on the channel, and I just feel like it's very outdated and my skills have become a lot better at making the dish. So I think it's about time that I do a little bit of an update on the recipe. And this is actually my most popular recipe video of all, and it's probably one of the most popular recipes in Costa Rica in general. And that is Gallo Pinto, the rice and beans breakfast dish. And we're actually gonna be making an entire typical breakfast today. So that's gonna be your Gallo Pinto, plátano maduro, which is like the ripe plantain, and then we're also gonna have some fresh cheese up in there and some fried eggs. So let's just jump right into it. So I am gonna just quickly go over the ingredients with you guys because I feel like in my previous video I used a few different ingredients than I'm gonna be using today. Our first things are gonna be onion. We've got some basic yellow onions, nice and fresh. We've got a chili dulce, which you can replace with sweet pepper. It's not exactly the same, but it's what we've got, and it's what you guys might be able to find. So that's that. And then we've got our cilantro, and this is Castillo, cilantro Castillo. Next up, we've got our famous sauce, Lizano. Without this, it's not gonna be Costa Rican. And yeah, that's like, this is like the flavor master right here. So you need it. And if you can't find it, I'm gonna leave a link down in my description box where you can buy it on Amazon. All right, so the next ingredient is gonna be black beans. Now, in my previous video, I definitely said you can use any old bean, which some of you, yes, gave me a hard time for that, but it's true. Basically, you wanna stick to black beans or pinto beans. I have used kind of like a red bean in the past, the small red beans, and those turn out fine too, but I would stick to those three main ones. Otherwise, yeah, you should definitely be able to find at least one of those. And I make mine homemade. If you remember, I do actually also have a video on how to make homemade beans. So if you want to check that out, I'm just going to put the link up here in the corner and you can go and see that, and you can make your own beans fresh at home from dried, and they'll be so much tastier because this is a very important part of the dish. If you use canned beans, which you totally can, but it is going to affect the end flavor, because how I do my beans, they already got the flavor. They've got the spices, they've got the chili, they've got onion, all this wonderful flavor, and then the liquid that comes along with it is what we're actually going to use towards our end result of pinto today. So finally, we've got the star of the show, a big pot of rice. I made this yesterday, and as I've heard the señoras say, the older the rice, the better. Of course, all in good reason. You don't want to be using rice that's, you know, bad, but the longer it's been in the fridge, basically, it'll be drier and it will absorb the liquids better, and it will just have a better flavor in general. So these are our main ingredients for now. I'm gonna be throwing in a few spices here and there along the way, so I'll show you guys that once we have gotten to that point. Alright guys, so we're gonna first start by cutting up our onion, and we're just gonna do like a fairly basic dice. You know, usually when you're making rice dishes, you do want to make sure that the bits of onion and all the other veg are gonna be about the same size as the rice. All right, and now we're gonna be cutting up our chili dulce. I like to just cut everything all together so that we get the cutting out of the way completely from the very beginning. So we're gonna cut the top off there. Take out the seeds because we don't really need them. Slice this baby in half. Alrighty guys, so we have all of our ingredients here. We've got our onion, made me cry, ouch. And then we've got our chili dulce and we got our cilantro all cut up, ready to go, we're all prepared. So, one thing I do want to mention is that on this episode of making gallo pinto, I am actually gonna try to make 2 different ways of doing it, because I don't know, if you follow me on Instagram, you would know that not too long ago I put a story up with a poll, and I was asking how you, or people in general, make their gallo pinto. Do they make it with putting the beans in first with the onion and the flavoring, or do they put the rice in first, crisp it up, and then add the beans in? And it was such a tie, really. And I asked why, and some people said, oh, it's because it soaks up the flavor better and all that stuff. And, well, me and Luis have discussed it in depth. And the thing is, for me, I feel that toasting up the rice first makes it better in a way that the rice is crispy and it's not going to end up getting too soggy by the end of it all. Plus, my beans already have all of this wonderful flavor in it, so I'm not really that concerned about them absorbing the flavor of the onion. So we're gonna try both ways, and if there's one that turns out better than the other, we're gonna see if that's a thing or not, or if it's the exact same thing, or yeah. Okay, so one other important ingredient, we're gonna get some butter, mantequilla. This one has already been opened. Yes, I use it a lot. And we'll just throw in enough to start frying up all of the goods. All right, let's start cooking. Alrighty guys, so for butter use, I'm going to use about that much. That's gonna be about what, maybe 9 grams of butter, 8 grams of butter. So we're gonna throw that in the pan, let it melt, throw in the onions, and get going. All right, let's do this. Okay, so we have the onion sizzling away on both pans. Now we're gonna go and get some spices. Let me go get them and I'll show you what they are. So I've got 2 of the exact same, well, more or less, dishes here. And we have got a little bit of black pepper, cumin, ground cumin, oregano, thyme, and salt. Some people will tell you maybe put a little sugar in there, but I'm not gonna put sugar into my pinto today. And even if you would, it would just be like a pinch or so. And you may also want to add maybe some dry parsley, but this is my little spice blend that I like to add. So we're gonna throw that in with the onion. Okay, so now is the part where we're gonna start adding in our beans and our rice. So first, to one pan, we're gonna add the rice first, and then to the other pan, we're gonna add the beans first to see how it all turns out. So let's get a measuring cup and start getting the beans out. And just FYI, I'm gonna add about 1 cup of these beans to each one. Maybe a little extra of the juice. I just added like a 1/4 cup of the liquid more, and I'm gonna put about 2 cups of rice. Give that a nice stir, get all the flavors mixed together. All right, so we're just gonna let both of them kind of just do their thing for like a couple of minutes, and then we are going to add in the rice to the one that only has beans, and then we're gonna add the beans to the one that only has rice. So the one with rice, it is looking quite dry. I think it could almost use a bit more fat, but we're gonna leave it and see how it dries out. And then this one with the beans, I just turned it up a little bit to see if maybe the flavors can, you know, come together a bit more. So we're almost ready. It is hot in here. While we're waiting for our beans and our rice to get all up in there, we are going to prepare our plátano maduro. This is very maduro. You can always tell because it's very dark. And actually this could be even darker. I didn't find any at the store that were darker than this, but the more ripe they are, the sweeter they're gonna be. They do have a bit of a hitting point where once they get to a certain ripeness, they do get sort of an almost a fermented alcoholic kind of flavor. So this is gonna be good enough for us today. And we're gonna slice it up in a few pieces. There are two ways, or there's a few different ways that you can cook this. We are gonna be doing fried today just because it won't take up so much time to show you guys how to do it. But what you can also do is just like this, how they are cut, is throw them into boiling water and boil them. And that's a healthier way of doing it. You don't have to use any oil or anything like that. And when you're finished, just be careful. You'll wanna peel it. They're gonna be super hot. And you just pop it on the plate like that, and it's super delicious. But yeah, like I said, today we're just gonna slice it up and fry it to put onto our typical breakfast plate. All right, guys, it's time to get our beans into our dried out rice that's been cooking down. And then we're going to get the rice into our beans that have been cooking down with the flavor, and both are looking pretty good right now. So let's see how they turn out. I forgot to put the Lizano in with the beans that we're heating up. So I'm gonna do that now. Chef at home style, sorry guys. Yes, you definitely should put the Lizano in with the beans before you put the rice so it all cooks in together. I messed up. All right guys, so it's Lizano time. We're gonna put about 1 to 2 tablespoons into each of the pans right now. As I said earlier, I totally effed up and I needed to put into this one right here with the beans to cook down. I need to put the Lizano in that before, but I didn't, so I'm gonna do it right now. Okay, it is getting hot in here. We are just gonna let those cook for a little second. I did notice that when I started mixing the rice with the one with the beans that was already cooking down, it's like instantly dry. And I feel like maybe this is the reason why I feel like the rice gets overcooked so quickly, because the rice doesn't have a chance to dry out. And the beans are already just like kind of mashy mixing into it. But we'll see, because I find that the other one that I actually fried the rice in first is very liquidy, but with drier rice. So let's see how it all turns out. In a few moments, we'll get in our remaining bits with the chili dulce and the cilantro, but we'll wait a few minutes to let that kind of cook down, and let's focus on this again. So we need to open these up. Careful with your knives, as always. Looks just like that, kind of like a thick banana. Now, if you can only find green plantains in your grocery store, all you have to do is get them and just let them sit in your counter for a couple of days. What you can also do is put them into a brown paper bag, and that should help the natural gases kind of ripen itself more quickly. I haven't tried it myself, but I always put them next to like my tomatoes and stuff like that, and I find they end up going bad faster than I want them to, so that might help. Okay, so with this, we are just gonna slice it. You could do it in your hand, you could do it on a cutting board, probably better on a cutting board. I just find that I wanna show you guys and have a little more control over it, because sometimes it gets kind of slippery, so just be careful. There. Just a nice little slice. You could do it really however you want. I've seen some people just cut it right in half. I've seen other people leave it whole. You can also bake these and put a little like salty cheese with it. It's super good. So our pintos are ready to add in the flavor goodies. Yes, I know there's probably some people who are like, you needed to add the chili dulce first, but that's just not the way we like it, because we like it to have a bit of crunch. We don't like the texture of when it's like overcooked. And it still adds a really nice fresh flavor actually. So you can choose to put the chili dulce in when you do the onion as well. Alright guys, so our pintos are finished, both of them, and we are now going to fry up our maduro and get plating started. We've also got some queso semiduro, which is like a fresh cheese, so we'll cut some of that up and put it onto our plate as well. So we're just gonna cut nice big chunk of cheese. Do a little diagonal thing over there. This is the queso fresco. So while we're waiting for our plátano to hopefully not burn, we're gonna take a quick look-see at what we've got here. Here is our pinto, in which we added our beans first. Check it out. The pans are hot, so I'm holding them strangely. Okay, and then here, let me just give it a stir so it's got nice and steamy deliciousness. Now, let's see. So this is the pinto that we made with the rice first. They honestly look pretty much the same. Surprisingly enough, the rice looks less overdone with the one with the beans first. Here we go. Not burnt yet. Beautiful. Plátano maduro. Okay, let's go try it. Okay, next one. Well, guys, I think, okay, first and foremost, they taste basically the same, but I still prefer the flavor of the one that the beans didn't cook down. I prefer the one with the rice first. It had an extra flavor to it. I don't know how to explain it, but when it hit my tongue, it had something more to it, something more like it bloomed on my tongue. This one I found was a little bit too dry. So, I don't know. What do you guys prefer? Or how did you learn to do it? Why and why? Do you just do it a certain way because your family members taught you to do it that way, or because you believe that the taste is better, or what am I doing wrong to see if I could fix it up a little bit? Anyways, you guys can now try it both ways and see what you guys prefer better, and let me know down in the comments what your results are. All right, we're gonna plate up this beautiful plate. I'll show you guys how I'm serving it, and we'll go from there. And I'm gonna make some coffee. We can't have a typical breakfast without coffee. The final thing we're gonna be using for our plate, our typical breakfast, is natilla, which is basically like a sour cream. This is a really nice brand. It's thicker, kind of like the one that you would find in North America, but usually they come with salt. And it's super delicious, and you're just gonna put a little plop right in the center there, and that is gonna be amazing with the pinto and also with the maduro, with your plantain. Like basically you just dip it in, and it's the perfect combination of like salty sweet, and you'll see once you try it, it's amazing. All right guys, check it out. Beautiful desayuno típico de Costa Rica, delicioso. We've got the gallo pinto, queso fresco, plátano maduro frito, y huevo frito. super delicious. So let me repeat that again in English for you guys. We've got the Gallo Pinto, the rice and beans with all the yummy, delicious extras. We've got our fresh cheese. We've got our plátano maduro. We've got our sour cream, natilla, and we have a fried egg. And that's basically what we've got. I mean, this dish you can serve, like Gallo Pinto, you can serve it with so many different things. I've seen other places serve it with just like meats, you know, like beef, shredded chicken. There's pretty much endless options. Also, a lot of people do put a tortilla with this plate, but in our house we don't really like the store-bought tortillas, and I think I'm gonna leave homemade tortillas for another day with you guys. And I've got my beautiful Costa Rican coffee. Oh, yes, this is awesome. Okay, let's give it a try. And I'm going straight for the maduro because it's been a long time since I've had some. So you just dip it in just like that. Get lots. Ah, it fell. Okay, lots, just like that. Amazing. All right, let's get some of the pinto with the natilla, just like that. Just scoop it all up. Super tasty. All right, that's it, guys. I'm gonna have pinto for days. Luis is gonna be so happy about this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments down below. And I will also leave the updated recipe in the description, just so you guys can have it there. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Costa Rica kind of style content and vlog style videos that I make on this channel. So thanks again, and I will see you guys real soon. Bye.